So you guys probably don't know this, but me and Piers car share on the way to work.
We do.
So we constantly chat nonsense about real racing, about sim racing, about racing games and hardware and everything, right? We discuss work, we discuss stuff outside of work. And one of the big talking points recently has been the fact that there are so many major releases coming in the next 6 or 7 months that we think it's probably going to be a really crucial point for the racing game industry.
Yeah, we were just discussing all the stuff that's coming up, and then we went, hold on, there's quite a lot coming shortly, and all of it's quite important. So we thought, why not run through what we were discussing, because it's looking pretty exciting for the sim racing space.
There's a lot happening, so stick around and find out what it is.
Right, well, let's start with the games that are coming. There's a lot of racing game news and a lot of games coming in the near future. Let's run through them.
Yeah, so, I mean, the major releases, to be honest, we'll start in the present. One of the biggest releases right now, Forza Motorsport, a game that people have been waiting for years, and it's been in development for years. It's been delayed multiple times, but it's finally here. I know you used to play a little bit of Forza when you were younger.
Yeah, Forza was actually basically the main game that I played when I was a kid. I had an Xbox 360, played Forza Motorsport 2 and 3, and it kind of was a gateway into sim racing, which is now my main hobby and my job. And it's exciting to think that this new Forza is going to be huge for some people, especially on console. Like I used to play on Xbox before I had a gaming PC, and the people playing it now, or the kids playing it now, will potentially be us in a few years' time, you know, full racing game nerds, and either working in the industry or just loving getting involved and being fully engrossed in it.
It's one of the big franchises, along with the likes of Gran Turismo, that's just been in our lives throughout. And this game is the only game on this list that's already been released in full, so everyone's had a chance to play it at least. I have to say, in my experience so far, I'm feeling pretty mixed about it. I think there's a lot of imperfections there. I've had a lot of glitches. The single player's not really engrossed me. This video is not just going to be about smashing Forza Motorsport, but I do have to say it's not been living up to quite what I'd hoped from it. But then again, the multiplayer has been really, really good, and I've enjoyed that so far. There's a couple of videos on the channel already, so go and check them out. I've done some multiplayer racing, and of course, we've reviewed the game. But yeah, overall, I'm not feeling super positive about it.
Well, I can tell you're a little bit disappointed by some things to do with Forza, because of course, Forza. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
Forza.
I did get panned in the comments for Forza. We'd even discussed it before the video, and I said, no, I'm going to go Forza.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Forza.
Right. So that even though you're a little bit disappointed with some things to do with Forza, something that I can tell you're very much excited about is WRC.
Yes, basically. Again, if you've been watching the channel at all recently, you will have seen our preview videos for the new EA Sports WRC game, which is coming in November, and that is definitely getting the excitement going. I mean, the preview was fantastic. The car, the way that the handling worked on the gravel was feeling great. The force feedback, the content is incredible. Even stuff like the music in the menus, the career mode, it feels like a really fully fleshed out Dirt Rally experience. It's like Dirt Rally 3+. You know, it's not going to be the kind of game that's going to really hit home the simulation, the hardcore part of rallying like Richard Burns. This is not a Richard Burns Rally 2. This is a Dirt Rally 3.0+. And I think for a lot of people, that's exactly the kind of thing they're wanting.
I'm not a massive rally fan, have never really been. I've always been about circuit racing. I know you love rallying, but it really feels like this is a long time coming, like a new rally game that's actually worth playing. There
are caveats. There's still some performance issues with the preview build. Well, hopefully they'll be fixed, but I can see why people would be worried about that. I mean, I'm slightly concerned myself. So it's not like it's completely perfect or we're out of the woods yet, but I think the potential is so big. I think this could be a game that basically cheers a lot of people up before Christmas, which is always a nice thing. And of course, that's rallying, but you know, you're into circuit racing. You're not as big on rallying. So for you, how about something like Rennsport, which has obviously been in beta for a while now? We've had summits, we've had esports, but the majority of the public haven't been able to try it, and we're still not at a full release, but we're expecting this game to be coming in December.
Yes, Rennsport, we're lucky enough to have tried it. We've in its early stage. We haven't actually tried it that much recently because to us content creators, not much has been stepped forward. However, of course, it's being raced regularly in ESL R1. A lot of the best sim racers in the world, they're using it all the time.
Yeah.
And it is a racing sim, circuit racing sim from the ground up, is what they heard. And there's been a bit of controversy recently about the origin of some of the code. But regardless of all that, it's great to have another proper out-and-out sim for us to race on, because that's, like, for me and a lot of you watching at home, that's what we do, that's what we like, that's what we enjoy. Some official cars properly simulated on good tracks with good multiplayer and potentially modding.
Yeah, and we've seen proof of the multiplayer in working. I've actually tried some of the mods at the final ESL R1 event in Munich as well, so that's there. And again, it's another game where the potential is there. It's been quite slow building, and obviously Rennsport have taken us along for the ride in terms of making the beta public and giving us as much info as they can from the outset. So hopefully they continue the transparency and we get a good game at the end of it. But I think that's definitely going to be one that pleases people who are looking for multiplayer racing online and maybe just a bit of blowing off steam with the stuff like the mods. So yeah, definitely one for the racing fans.
Staying on the sim racing front, in like hardcore sim racing, also in the turn of the new year, we're looking forward to LMU, Le Mans Ultimate.
Yes.
That was announced, of course, made by Studio 397. I love World Endurance Championship. I love Le Mans. I've been there 3 times in the last 5 years as a spectator. A game that could encapsulate that atmosphere and that passion and that thrill and the hardcore fans, if it's executed well, would be amazing.
Yeah, it gets me excited. I mean, I was at Le Mans for the first time ever this year, but I've been a massive fan of watching all the races for years and years and years, and it was very, very special indeed. We both tried the preview build at Le Mans. It felt good to me. I'm excited to see how it comes in terms of the full game. Obviously, we don't really know enough about it yet. We don't know about the full-on features. We've seen screenshots. We haven't seen enough actual evidence of what it's going to be like. But we can imagine, with Studio 397 at the helm, it's going to be quite hardcore, quite simmy, and it is coming PC only to start with. So this is not a game that's going to be sold to the masses across consoles in the near future. But hopefully it can do really well on PC and then hopefully lead to something a bit bigger in the future. But we just need to see a bit more of it.
And also, it's hopefully going to take some of the best bits from RF2 with some of the new additions like race control as well, which has been a good addition to RF2. And I think race control is supposed to be sort of cross-platform with...
Yeah, so Race Control is the new multiplayer system used on rFactor 2 in beta at the moment that you can go and try by playing rFactor 2, and it's been very positively received early days. But the actual system that powers that is called Race Control, and Race Control is going to be used on Le Mans Ultimate. So we can assume the multiplayer at Le Mans Ultimate is going to be similar in some ways to the rFactor 2 multiplayer system, which has had a good start. So things are looking good, I have to say. But again, it's just you have to be cautiously optimistic with these things. Of course, Le Mans Ultimate could be a big one for the sim racing fans, but heading into 2024, there is another big game that's coming for maybe the more casual racing fans, those of you who like Forza Horizon, for example, or The Crew. We have Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Now, I know you're not somebody who has played much Test Drive Unlimited.
I have never played Test Drive Unlimited.
Well, there you go. I definitely have played Test Drive Unlimited. And for people like me, and for some of you watching, I'm sure, this is a really big deal. Now, again, it's a game, it's been developed by Kiloton, and it got announced a long time ago. It's been delayed a few times, but things are still looking very promising. Our colleague Thomas tried it, and he says it feels good, it feels promising, although a bit rough around the edges at the moment. It's basically taking the good bits of the likes of Forza Horizon, but trying to make it a little bit more challenging and try and make you feel a little bit more attached to what you own. So you don't just get rewarded all the cars straight away. You have to race them a lot and earn your way up to be able to buy more expensive cars. So they're going for a slightly more hardcore take on a very casual genre, which I think is quite cool. And apparently the physics are kind of a little bit more like Forza Motorsport than Forza Horizon. So based in realism, but obviously still going to be playable on a controller. So I think that's quite interesting.
Yeah, it could be good to, again, be a sort of almost like a gateway game for a lot of people into maybe some more hardcore sim racing, or alternatively it's just a really good fun game again. And those open world driving games are hugely popular and probably more popular than most of the sim games in terms of pure numbers of people playing.
Yeah, sofa racing game. For me, that's, there's such a big market for sofa racing games where you can just chill out, grab a controller and have fun, but you still want to feel like you're doing something somewhat realistic. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Another one. And then the final game we want to discuss in our list of games, specifically in the next 7 months, is Assetto Corsa 2. Probably the biggest enigma of them all, because this is a game that is coming off of the back of Assetto Corsa Competizione and the original Assetto Corsa, both hugely popular and still popular to this day, yet we don't know anything about AC2 really yet.
No, we don't. And both AC and ACC, both hugely popular games in their own right, kind of different ways about designing a racing game. Of course, AC, I used to play loads of AC when I was a teenager, loved that game. Probably still to this day, the physics are the best or the closest to what I feel is real in any game that I've tried. I love the physics in AC. It just feels natural. It's really easy to drive. You've got the road cars, the race cars. So if AC2 is anything like AC, then it's going to be hugely popular. And one thing that made Assetto Corsa really popular was the modding scene as well, but we've no idea what the modding situation is with AC2.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know much, but we do know that it's moving away again from Unreal Engine 4, which is what ACC was running on, and it's going to a bespoke Kunos-developed engine, which is exciting. So
just like AC.
Exactly. So the signs are this is going to be another Assetto Corsa, but more modern and updated and stuff, but we just don't know enough about it, and that kind of concerns me a little bit, because even though we do know that it's expected to come, I think it's by Q2 in 2024, I would have liked to have seen a bit more info by this point.
Hopefully it's just like a big sledgehammer on the table and boom, here it is, and it's awesome, because we'd love AC2 to be an amazing game. But also, not just gaming. We've talked about all the games that are coming in the next foreseeable future at least, but it's not just the actual software itself. We're in a really good space in terms of hardware, and we get to test a lot of hardware here at Traxion. We're very lucky, get to test a lot of wheels, pedals, rigs. And one thing we've been discussing as well is the fact that all the stuff we've reviewed over the last, I don't even know how long, basically is all really good. We often get comments saying, oh, you're being too nice about these products, but pretty much every single product we get sent is pretty good these days, and we're literally splitting hairs between them. So realistically, any product at your budget is going to be good. Even if your budget is low, then you just pick one of the major manufacturers that you trust and buy the product at that price. Or if it's medium or high end, you're going to get a good product, because the space is getting so much bigger. There's so many more companies coming in. Like Moser have been a real disruptor in the space. They've been making some great products. You've got the stalwarts like Logitech and Fnatic and Thrustmaster keep bringing out new stuff as well. So no one can afford to make bad products with big flaws.
That's it. Yeah, when we reviewed these products, we're literally having to search as close as possible to find any kind of small area of weakness and pry it open, because they're getting so good at kind of, I guess, learning and making sure they don't make the same mistakes. And the more competition, as Piers is saying, the better, because it drives everyone else forward and no one can afford to make mistakes. So for the hardware world, it's an exciting time, but it has been for the last year, I'd say. There's just so many good new products, and hopefully we'll be able to show you lots of them on the Traxion channel in the near future.
Yes, and we're expecting some hardware very, very shortly from a lot of the big manufacturers. Fnatic have literally in the last week, I think at the Expo, released their new, or shown their new Club Sport direct drive wheelbases with their new quick release. Logitech, of course, last year released the Logitech G Pro, but they haven't released another steering wheel for that yet. I'm excited to see if they do something with that. We're expecting a new Ferrari wheel to go with the T818 from Thrustmaster. Plus, Moser are just going into their second generation of a lot of their wheels.
And so console support as well on Moser now.
Yeah, of course, but they've announced that they're going to have the new force feedback filtering algorithm on the new R12, and they're going to continue to update that. Every major manufacturer is stepping forward, along with all of the software and game steps. It's going to be an exciting time to be in the sim racing and racing game space. Yeah,
ultimately it's good for you guys. It's good for us, because we just have so many good things to pick from, and it benefits everyone. So keep on going, hardware manufacturers. Keep on developing awesome new products. Keep on coming up with innovation, and it'll continue to grow. Okay, so there are lots of things happening. We've covered all of that over the next 7 months. Why is this so important? Well, obviously there are lots of big releases in there, so you can imagine that any big racing game release feels important for the racing game space. But for me, it's just the amount of racing games that are coming out and the breadth of the genres. So we're getting racing games for hardcore sim fans, we're getting racing games for casual open world fans, for fans of modding, for fans of rallying. Like, we've got so many big racing games across so many different disciplines and styles that basically in the next 7 months there will be a racing game that, if it's done well, will be great for you no matter what you're interested in.
And also you'll then have the hardware to match that, because there's good products at every price range and potentially new products as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously within that, as much as it's great to have all of these different games, we don't know what they're going to be like yet. And everyone, Forza's proven this. The Forza Wars, as I keep calling them. Some people hate Forza Motorsport, some people love it, and people will shout at each other and beat each other up online about whether or not this is a good game or a bad game. There's so much pressure and hype and expectation in all of these titles that every game will have its critics and every game will have its plaudits, but at the end of the day, we need some of these 7 games to be good, because I think if there are 6 or 7 really disappointing games that people are too excited about and then get disappointed by, I think it's going to leave a bit of a sour taste in the already fractured racing game community. So for me, these need to be good, or at least a majority of them need to be good.
But on the other side, if these are really good and the hardware goes to match and everything works well, it's just going to grow the sim racing and racing game space even bigger than it already is, because it will just be positive momentum. And that's what we really hope will happen.
Yeah.
Whether all of them are as good as they want to be, only time will tell. But the one place you can find out is on the TraxionGG website and also on Traxion YouTube channel, because we're lucky enough that we will be testing every single one of the things that we have mentioned in this video, and we'll often be the first ones to write something about it.
At the end of the day, we just want there to be really good racing games, because we enjoy making videos and writing articles and reviewing games that are genuinely positive and bring us joy. So please make some great games. We're really looking forward to the releases, and yeah, we will bring you as much as we can. But that's pretty much going to round up this video, I think. Was there anything else?
No, I think that's pretty much the end of today's video. We hope you enjoyed this weird little discussion. We didn't really know how to do this, so we thought we'd just sit down and have a chat, and hopefully hopefully it's got you guys as excited as we are.
It was just too important, I think, not to cover, because we could obviously hone in on a specific topic, and you'll see all of these in the videos, but we just felt we needed a general discussion about it, because there's just so much to try and dissect. So hopefully you've enjoyed this style of video as well, and if you want to see more, please do let us know in the comments below, and subscribe to the Traxion channel to catch all of the videos about all of these games and all of this hardware when it comes out. But from myself and Piers, thanks for watching, keep it pinned, and have a great day.